ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थसुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्म हृदय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 47. We are verse number 18. This is continuation of the Bhramar Geet. In the previous verse we read how Shri Radharani said that Krishna, not only in this life but in the past lives also, he has been irreligious, adharmic, Therefore we have nothing to do with such people. So she is continuing now. Says Yadanucharita Leela Karna Piyusha Viprut Shakritadan Vidhuta Dvanda Dharma Vinashtaha Sapadi Griha Kutambam Dinamutsrijya Dina Bhavahiya Vihaga Bhikshucharyam Charanti. So says that there are many people who are wandering here in Vrindavan, just begging for food like birds. Vihanga iha bahava bhikshucharyam charanti. So a lot of sadhus live here in Vrindavan and they do madhukari. But why do they do it? What brings them here? Says Yadanucharita Leela Karna Piyusha Viprut, that they have eaten even once just one drop of the nectar of the pastimes of Krishna, and that destroys their duality, vidhuta dvandva dharma, which means that this is my relative, this is not my relative, this is my mother, this is not mine, this is my wife. So I, my and not I, my. I like this, I don't like this. So they become completely free from that just by taking one drop of this Amrita. And not only that, their duality, their dvandvas are destroyed, they are also destroyed in the process. Vinashta, completely finished. And when they are finished, they come to Vrindavan. Because where else will they go? There is nowhere else they can survive. Because in Vrindavan you can get madhukari. So they come here. So sapadi griha kutumbam dinam utsrijya dina. So the family who are wretched people, they are dependent on them. So they give up all that and these wretched people come here and live in Vrindavan. So not only he troubles us, he also troubles other people. And then these people come and join us because misery loves misery. So they know that the gopis are also miserable in Vrindavan because of Krishna. And we have also become miserable because of him. So let's go there. We'll have company. So they come here flying like birds because they hear all the stories. So Yadanucharita Leela Karna Piyusha Viprota. Viprot means just little bit. And that also only once. But it says Sakrita Adana. Not that they have drank it even while they are drinking it. Adana means Shatri Pratyaya. Adana. Vidhuta dvandva dharma. So it has an immediate effect on them. And then they give up everything. They become renounced. Yadahar vrajet, tadahar vrajam vrajet. So Upanishad says that the day you become renounced, that day you parivrajet. But here this is not parivrajet, this is vrajam vrajet. The very day you become renounced, that day you leave and come to Vrindavan. So that's what happens to these people. So vayam sakshat tena saha sakhyam kritvatyo yad dukhinyo abhume tatra kim chitram. So Srimati Radharani is saying that what is the great wonder if we are suffering by friendship of Krishna. And at least we had direct friendship with him. We met him directly, we spoke to him directly, we met, danced, But there are people who have not even met him, but just heard about him. Even they are troubled by him. So he is so good in giving trouble to others that he can give trouble without meeting people, without knowing them. without doing anything. He had just people who talk about him. He has trained some people that you go around talking about me, and that is enough for people to be troubled. So that's what he does. So it says, Tal Lila Katha api Sarva Jagat Santapni Tyaha. So he says that even his stories about his activities, they are troublemaker to the whole world. Tav Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam. So Tapta means same, Santap, trouble. So whoever hears his Katha, then he is bound to suffer. And I'm sure you will agree to that. Right? So yasya anucharitam pratikshana cheshtitam eva lila. So what is this lila? Yad anucharitam. Whatever he does, that is his lila. So he is always doing something. In Bhagavad Gita says that he always works. Varta eva cha karmani. Naham avaptam avaptavyam varta eva cha karmani. Although I have nothing to achieve, but I am always working. Why is he working? He says to give trouble to people. Right? Some people work only to give trouble to others. Some people work to do good to others. Some people work to good to themselves. Some people but not trouble others. Some people, there are 4 types of people. One type of people, they dedicate their life to help others. Second type of people, they don't want to help others, they work for themselves, but at least they don't trouble others. Third type of people, they exploit others for their own good. Fourth type of people, their only job is to give trouble to others. So he says that that's what he is about. Because when gopis ask, to which category do you belong? Remember he says that there are some people who reciprocate when you good to them. Some do motiveless service, some don't. To which do you reciprocate? He says, Naham ta sakhyo bhajtao bhajantun bhajame misham anuvritta vritti. He says, I don't belong to anyone of them. Murarestu Tritiya Pantha. So there is Kumaril Bhatt, there is Guru Prabhakar, and then there is Murari. He has his own song, separate from both of them. So that's what Krishna says. So yasya anucharitam pratikshana cheshtitam eva lila. Saiva karnu piyusha. So this lila itself is the nectar for the ear. Karna piyusha, karna means ear and piyusha means nectar. What does it mean, karna piyusha? He says shabda matrena eva sukhdam. He says it's pleasing, just the word. Even if you don't understand the meaning, just it touches the ear. That's how Shravanam is described by Rupa Goswami, right? So, kinchin matram. Somehow it just enters into the holes of ear, that is called Shravan. Whether you understand or you don't understand, that's not. So his Leela is so powerful that simply by hearing it, even if you don't know Sanskrit, don't know the language, still it acts. Just like if you touch something hot, whether you know it or not know it, it will burn. Or if you drink some poisonous thing, it will have an effect. So Krishna's Leela is like that. So it goes into the heart. So therefore it says tasmat srotavya kirtitavya. Right? It's described by Sukadeva Goswami that should always hear this. So Sravan Matrena Punatit. So he says, forget about Punati, gives Sukhdam ki punar arthata iti bhava. What to speak if you can understand the meaning, how much more pleasure it will give. Tasya api viprut, and that from that also just one drop. Tasya api sakrid, and that also only once. And adanam kinchid asvadanam, and just one little taste of it. Tene api vidhuta visheshena khandita dvandva dharma. So that itself demolishes all the dualities of one's life. So stri pumsa di paraspar sankhya rupa dharma yeshamte. So all this, that I am a woman, you are a man, let's have friendship, all this paraspar mutual. Dvandva has, remember we just did it. So dvandva has two meaning. One is a couple, other is fight. So both meaning that the couple relationship is vinasta, and then no more fight also. Why dvandva has the meaning fight? Dvandva actually means couple. Comes from dvi dvandva. Two people together are called dvandva, like yugal dvandva, pad dvandva, right? 2 feet, 2 hand. But why dvandva has the meaning of fighting? Because that's what couples do. You will not find any couple which does not fight. If you know, please tell me. I want to meet them. You know somebody? So that's how the word dvandva means fight. So he says all their fights are over. There is no need to fight because no more relationship of husband and wife. So that's why it says Stri Pumshadi Paraspar Sakhya Rupa Dharma. And he is not saying husband and wife, because these days people don't marry. So commentator already knew this. So he is not saying that Pati Patni. He is saying Stri Pumsa. He says man woman. So he says their relationship, their friendship, it comes to an end. Tat katham stri chet shrunoti sadyaiva pati sneham tyajati. Patis chet stri sneham eva. So he says if a wife hears this katha, she immediately becomes disenchanted with the husband because she was already looking for an outlet. Now she found it. And if the husband hears this katha, then what happens? Pati chet stri sneham evam. And if he gives up all affection for his wife. So that's why they say that the happiest day in a man's life is when he gets divorced, not when he gets married. They did a survey on this and asked people which was the happiest day. So they said when I got divorced. So therefore this is what happens. And Pitaram Mataram cha Putrascha, if he is a son, then he gives up the mother, the father. And if he is a mother, he gives up the son. Paraspar tyagad visheshena nashta. And this is how they are destroyed. So now their duality is removed, but all their relations are removed, and therefore all their family is finished. Tesham nasha tatha na dukkham yatha vairagya iti. But this destruction of the family relationship is not that troublesome. The troublesome is that when they leave the family and now they become renounced, then the real trouble begins. Because people in the beginning think that taking to spiritual life is very happy situation. That's how they tell. When you preach to people, you have to tell that, oh, this material world is all suffering. It is like a forest fire. Sansar davana lead loka. It's a forest fire burning all around. And spiritual life is all bed of roses. Everything is so cool here, although there is no electricity. But it still remains cool. Because you sweat, and then when fan is there, it feels very cool. So that is it's pretty cool, spiritual life. But when people join spiritual life, then they keep on asking this question all the time. But it is said it is very easy, and I'm saying no, it is not easy. I keep on saying this.
just on Saturday, someone asked, "Well, I thought you said it was easy."
Yeah, no, I didn't say it. I never say it, unless I'm preaching to somebody. When I teach, I don't say. When I preach, I can say, because that's preaching technique. So this is how it works. So then they say that first of all, their family is destroyed. That is the meaning of Vidhuta Dvanda Dharma. Dharma here means all religious relations. That's what Dvanda Dharma is. Means all the family relations, Varnashram Dharma. And in Varnashram Dharma there are Dvandvas, dualistic relations, husband, wife, mother, father, brother, sister, all this. This is all finished. But then the real problem begins when they give up it. Now where will they eat? So then they're going around like birds. So you see, all the time birds are looking for food. So then the sadhus are worried about food. Instead of sitting and doing japa, they're thinking, where will I get the next bandara? From where am I going to get an invitation today? So that is their meditation. So that's why it says Vihangaiva Bhikshu Charyam Charanti. So they become bhikshu. So tesham nasa tathana dukkham yatha vairagya iti. Samsarika lok anubhava eva pramanam iti bhava. And he says that in this regard, the experience of people here in the material world, this itself is the proof of it. There is no shastra needed for this. It's a pratyaksh pramana. Earlier also they said that pratyaksh pramana is superior to anything else. Kincha te janaha snigdha mansopi kathorasya krishnasya lila shravanad ati kathora nirdaya kritagnasya bhavanti. So why it happens like this? He said generally these people who are in the family, they have some affection towards their family members. Snigdha mansa. Snigdha means affection. So they are affectionate to their children, wife, husband, whoever. But when they hear the story of Krishna, and those stories are very cruel stories, harsh. So you become what you hear. Right? And they say that a person is known by the company he keeps. And what is the meaning of company? Company is not that you are just walking around. Company means talking. When you say he is in bad company or he is in this company, means he is listening to some undesirable topics. And if he does not listen, what is there in company? So this is this katha, Leela Shravanad Ati Kathora Nirdaya. So Krishna is very harsh and cruel person. And if he is cruel, then his activities are also cruel. What do you expect a thief is going to do? Stealing. So if you hear stories about a thief, there will be stories of stealing. So he is a harsh, cruel person. So his stories are also like that. And when these people hear these stories, although they themselves are not cruel, then they become very cruel and ungrateful by just hearing, because they get influenced by it, and that's when they'll give up everything. Because then they say, we don't care for this mother, father, this, that. When I joined ISKCON, they says parents are demons. That's we heard all the time. So you hear Krishna Katha, then you think parents are demons. So you become harsh. So Leela Shravanat Ati Kathora Nirdaya Kritagnascha Bhavanti Tyaha. If not demon, at least they say they are in Maya. So Sapadi Katha Shravana Kshanamatra Eva Griha Kutumbam Pitrish Swashruadi Pariyantam Api Deenam Anyasya Uparjaksya Bhavat Svoyad Bhokshate Tadhan Rahitam Api. So then just by hearing this Katha once, Sapadi Katha Shravana Kshanamatra Eva. And it does not take time. It's like potassium cyanide. So I heard, I don't know, but this is what I heard, that potassium cyanide is such a poison that if you just touch it to your tongue, you are dead instantly. It doesn't take time. It says no one knows what is the taste of it. One scientist wanted to tell the taste, he put it on the tongue and then he wrote S, and then he died. So they don't know S means sweet or it means sour. You should have written all the taste and ticked it, you know. He was not intelligent. Then at least he would have sacrificed his life for one good knowledge. So he says, Katha Shravana Kshanamatra Eva. That just at that moment, they give up family members. Griha Kutumbam, parents, father-in-law, mother-in-law, means not only your immediate family members, but even the wife's parent family. There also they don't want to have anything to do with them. So everything is given up. And these people are poor because they are dependent on him. He is the only breadwinner in the family, and then he leaves. So he becomes wretched himself, and then he leaves these people in that wretched state. So anyasya uparjakasya bhavat. So these people are dependent. That's why he's saying Pitrish Swashriyadi Pariyantam Api. That they do not have any other person who is earning in the family, and they don't know what they will eat next day. Svoyad bhokshate tadhan rahitam api. So even in this situation, they walk away. So cruel, not caring about anything. Yadva tadvicheda katram utsrijya mrityave kushavari sanyogena sampradaye veti. Or this utsrijya has another meaning. This making offering in the yajna is also called utsarga. So devta uddeshya dravya tyaga yaga. So this tyaga also means giving up. And tyaga also means giving offering into the fire. That is also called tyaga or utsarga. So utsrijya means that they make an oblation to all their family members that they are dead, as far as we are concerned. Like when someone dies, then you do pindadan for them. So that is called pinda utsarga. So that is meaning that I am offering all of you to death. Yadva tadvicheda kataram utsrijya Mrityave kusavari sanyogena sampradaya evityartha. So giving up all what you call distressful thinking, that what will happen if I give them up, this, that, nothing like this. They give up all that and they offer them mrityave, to death. That as far as I am concerned, you are dead. There is one video somebody had sent me. Some boy who was a student in college joined some society and the parents did not know. So they thought he's studying, he did not tell them. Then after some time they came to know, they said they came searching for him. He was studying in Delhi and they were somewhere in Bihar. So mother and father both came. They went to the college. He said, oh, he left few months ago from here. Then they went to the society and he said, no, he was here but he left. But he was there. So and the mother was crying. And finally they found him. And this was all in the video. Somebody was interviewing them. So he was on the camera and the parents were sitting. And he was saying, the mother was crying and the father was saying, look, the situation of your mother, how she is crying. And you know what he was saying? He said, don't be so sentimental. And then she fainted hearing this. So this is what it means. Utsrijya mrityave kushavari sanyogena sampradaya vityartha. That by kusha grass, which we were talking about yesterday, kaushalam, yoga karma su kaushalam, and vari. So you offer water with kusha grass and give to death. So hanta hanta te stri putradayo mriyantam nam swayam api sukhino naiv bhavanti itya. So alas, let the children, wife, etc., they die. No problem. If they can be happy themselves, but even they are not happy. So they give up all this, but they are not happy themselves also. Swayam api sukhino naiv bhavanti. They don't become happy even themselves. Dīnaha griham tyaktva gacchanta chitta vikshepad varatak matram api granthav na grananti iti bhava. So the word used here for them is dīna. Utsrijya dīna bhikshucharyam charanti vihangaiva. So the dīna is used for people who are in a very pitiable state, wretched, who have no money, no place, nothing. They are called dīna. That's why Krishna is called Dīnbandhu, friend of the poor, fallen, indigent. So they are dīna because when they leave house, they are so disturbed in their mind that they forget to take even few rupees in their pocket. Now they have left home, they cannot go back, so they have no money. So that's why they are dīna. Dhīra iti pathe bharyādi virodhana darshane api akshubhyanto mahakathora. So there is another reading. Instead of dīna, the reading is also dhīra. So dhīra means forbearing. Dhīra means who are tolerant, who have good fortitude. Dharya, dhatte dharyate chaiva iti dhīra udahrita. So those who can have stability of the mind, they are called dhīra. So they are dhīra, which means that when they are leaving, their wife, children, everybody is crying, but it does not change their heart. They don't care because they become very harsh hard-hearted, Mahakathora. And why is this? Because they have heard the Leela of the Mahakathora. Very harsh and cruel person. नचते एक द्वा दित्वा द्वित्रा वा चतु पंचा वा किंतु बहव परसता परसहस्रास्य. And it is not that there are only one or two of such people, or two or three, or four or five. Remember this samas? Panchasha came, samas prakaranam. But many, because the word used here is bahava. So bahu means many, and bahu in singular will also mean many. Right? Bahu, bahu, bahava. So the word bahu itself means many, and then it is being used in plural. Just like the word sarva, sarva means all. So if you have a singular of sarva, it means all. But if you say sarve, it means plural of all. So what is plural of all? It's possible only in Sanskrit. You cannot translate it. So bahu means many. So what would be bhava? So many. That's what it means. Because bhava means bahu iti bhava. Many. That's what. So there are many people like that who have been destroyed by his katha. Hundreds. In fact, it says thousands of them. So now the question comes that so many people leave their family. How do they survive? Where do they eat? And where do they sleep? So he says, Nanu tataste kaya jivikaya jivanti tyaha. So he says, by what means of livelihood do they survive? So then he says, Vihanga iha bhava bhikshucharyam. He said they become like birds. So that's why you hear that our Goswamis, they were staying one night under one tree. Because there are many birds who don't make their nest. They just sit. So today they are sitting on this tree, tomorrow they sit on another tree. What is the problem? So there is no house. And bhiksucharya, bag here, bag there. If you don't get the food here, move to another place. There is nothing. So this is how they are living. Like birds. Vihanga iha. So vihanga pakshina iva bhiksucharyam godhumadi kanabhi bhiksha paripati eva jivanti. So why the word bird is used here? Because what do the birds do? That they go and they try to pick some grains from the field here and there. So these sadhus are also doing, because it's not that they get madhukari these days, that you get chapatis, These days if you go for madhukari, you get roti, chapati, right? So you come and eat it. Not like that. They only get few grains. Like Kanad. Kanad, the founder of Vaisheshik Darshan, is called Kanad. Because he was just, Kana means grain. He was picking grains from here and there. So that is called Kanavritti. What is the name for? There is a name for that. Who lives like that? Manusmriti describes. So that is the type of bhiksha they are doing. Because who is going to give them so many chapatis? There are thousands of people doing madhukari. So they will get few grains. So that was also in the olden days. It is not that everywhere you got chapatis, you will get flour. Then you go and make your own chapati yourself. Otherwise at house they have to make so many chapatis. They have their own work to do and there is no gas. They cook with wood. And sadhus have time anyway. These grahasthas have a lot of things to do. So they can take the flour and go and make. Also sadhus, good sadhus, they cook and then they offer and eat. So they don't eat food cooked by others. That was also the reason. So that says that Godhumadi Kan Bhiksha Paripatyeva Jivante. Godhum means wheat. So they get some wheat grains because he is living here in Vrindavan, therefore he is using the word Godhum. He is from Bengal, otherwise he should have said Tandul. But there is no Tandul here. So here people eat wheat. So natu kenapi dattaya sthul bhikshaya apiti bhava. So he makes it more clear that they are not getting some gross madhukari. Alms means not that they are getting chapati, sabji, some dal, rice, nothing like that. Only grains. So that is the meaning of bird. And birds, they go and pick up some grains here and there. Iha iti pathe atraiva asmat dukha sthane Vrindavana eva agatya. And iha, here means here in Vrindavan, which is the place of our suffering. So they come and join us. And we are already suffering, so what bhiksha we can give to them? But they must be giving, that's why they know. So they come to Vrindavan. Asmat sangadapi mahadukhino bhavanti iti bhava. And when they meet us, they become more miserable because they hear more katha about him. And if you meet gopis, what are you going to hear? You hear about Krishna. So this is called Vyajastuti. This is called praise by speaking the opposite of it. Means they become more blissful meeting them and hearing about Krishna. So tena tat kathaya bahu matsya andika maya dastur bija churnatvam. So he is comparing, he says, what is Krishna's katha? He says Krishna's katha is like powdered sugar candy. Means very nice, sweet. But it is mixed with dastura. Dastura is a type of fruit. If you eat it, you get intoxicated. The flower of the dastura plant are offered to Shivji Maharaj. It's a round fruit, small plant, get white flowers, and the fruit comes, and the fruit is like the flower of Kadamba tree. It has like spikes around it, and inside there are seeds, but it is very intoxicating. So he says that this katha is like bahumat sandika maya dastur bija churnatvam, that the seeds of this dastura powdered are mixed with the sugar candy and then you eat it. So you eat nice sweet and then you get intoxicated on this katha. That's how it is. And then where these kathavachakas, those who are telling the katha, sadhu veshachanya mahaghatkatvam. He says these are the biggest killers, those who are going around and telling Krishna katha. They are like murderers. So they murder people by telling these stories. Tav kathamritam, tapta jivanam. Right? Kalmasapaham. So this is what they are doing. And then they are reading this katha from Bhagavat Purana. So Purana pustakasya jalatvam. So he says that this Bhagavat Purana, this is the net. So they throw the net by telling the stories, and then people get caught in it. And then they kill them. Kathamritam. Here Katha become Mrita. So you die. Or Tapta Jivanam, or you suffer. Ateva te vanad vanam bhramantopi swakaksha grihit pustaka eva drishyante. So that's why these people who are doing this katha, they go from one place to another place, just like those who go for hunting and throw their net here and there, and they're always having their book with them. In the olden days, they used to have handwritten book which is covered with the cloth, tied. So they're carrying that. So that is their net. So throwing their net from one forest to another forest, catching people. And Vyas, who is Vyas? Vyas is the one who made the net. Vyasadinam jal nirmatritvam. So Vyasdev, when he has written all the Vedas, he wrote Mahabharata, all this, then still he was not satisfied. He says, I want to make one net which will capture everybody. Then he wrote Bhagavatam. So lokasya janto vidwan chakre satvat samhita. So not known to people that this is a net I am making. He wrote this Bhagavatam. And just by hearing this, soka moha bhayapaha, he become free from moha, all these attachments, and run away from home. Yasyam vai shruyamanayam Krishne param purushe bhaktir utpadyate punsham shoka moha bhayapaha. So that's what Vyasa did. And then Krishna Parameshwaratvena tattad adeshtritvam. And then Krishna, he took the role of Parameshwara, Supreme Lord, and he instructed that he should write. Because he came as Narada Rishi, right? He came as his guru of Vyasa, and he says, write this book, what are you doing? That's why you are not happy. You have not created enough trouble for people, that's why you are not happy. Vyasa was not satisfied, right? He was not feeling satisfied. So he says, so Narada came and instructed him. And etadarthameva Krishnena Parameshwarta Grita. Why did Krishna become God? Only for this purpose. Otherwise he is a coward boy. But he took the role of Ishvara, God, so that he could instruct people like Narada, Brahma. He gave Chatusloki to Brahma, then Brahma gave to Narada. Tam etad vipli kuru. He says, expand it. Narada caught Vyasa. Because Narada says, I'm always traveling. How can I write book when I travel? And writing is difficult if you are traveling. So he says, Vyasa, you are sitting here in the ashram and nobody comes here, it's too cold. And there are no mosquitoes here because in that cold, mosquitoes and flies, they cannot survive. So he says, this is a good atmosphere for you to write this book and give hell to everybody. So this is what they have done. And gopya eva sarvaloka api dukhabdhau patantu iti tasya vichara. So Krishna has deliberated that just as these gopis are suffering, others should not be spared from this. So he wanted that not only gopi but others also taste this intoxicating katha and become free from moha. Idrisha paradukha darshanam eva tasya sukham. So Vaishnava is called paradukha dukhi, right? And Ishvara is called paradukha sukhi. So he says that this is his happiness when he sees others suffering. Then he feels very happy. अतः ईदृश पर दुख दान जन्य फल भागी यथा स भविष्यति न तथा व्यासादय. So therefore, because he is the originator of this whole program, so Vyasa etc. will also get some share of karma, but he is going to get the maximum because he is the originator of this whole plan. परहसता एव ध्वन्यः पद्यस्य सर्वैव सिद्धास्ततो व्यासुत्यो. He says that in this way, this sloka has got many dhvanis or implied meanings, and in this way, Srimati Radharani is establishing the supremacy of bhakti over everything else by Vyajastuti Alankar, or where you praise something on the pretext of doing the opposite of it. Atra khagam sadrishi kritya sajjananam khedanat tasya tyaga eva samuchita. So here the sadhus, they have been compared to bird. So what does it mean? So khedanat tasya tyaga. That indirectly, this is one meaning, that just like birds leave, like that you should leave this katha. Tasya tyaga. But tasya is not katha. Katha is feminine. Atra khagam sadrishi kritya sajjananam khedanat. Okay. He is saying that give up Krishna, because he brings trouble to others. Sajjananam khedanat, because he brings suffering to saintly people. Therefore he should be abandoned. Means Krishna should be abandoned. Just like the birds, they abandon everything. So kha means sky, ga means gachati. So khe gachati iti kha, and kha means khedana, suffering. So ga means go away. So go away from him. That is the significance of comparing it with the khaga. So iti anutapmayam vakyam iti abhijalpa. So this is called abhijalpa, where lamentation is described in this way. Yaduktam, as it is said, bhangya tyaga auchiti tasya khaganam api khedanat yatra sanushayam prokta tadbhaved abhijalpitam. So that is called abhijalpita, chitrajalpa, the variety of chitrajalpa named as abhijalpa, in which where indirectly the propriety of giving up of Krishna is mentioned, because he gives trouble even to the birds. So yatra sanushayam proktat, explaining the effect of hearing is about Krishna, that is called abhijalpa. So this is the end of sloka 18. If there is any question on this.
I was wondering here, the katha was equated to Bahu Matsyandika Maya Dhustura Bija. And Matsyandika?
Matsyandika is sugar candy.
But it looks like Matsya, fish, and Andika, egg, fish egg?
Because sugar candy comes in the small pieces like that, white in color, and fish eggs are like that.
Oh.
Yeah, it's confusing word. But it means sugar candy. Okay, Krishna Saran Baba.
Babaji, regarding the gloss of the word vinashta, at the end where it says Tesham Nashe Satana Dugam Yatha Vairagya, I'm finding this a little unclear. I'm not able to understand it. Is he saying that in this state of ruination or loss that they're in as a result of hearing the Katha, there is not the same dukkha as in Vairagya? Or is it the opposite?
Tesam nasham tatha na dukkham yatha vairagya. So he says that the suffering is not as much as in the destruction, but as it is in vairagya. Vairagya, saptami.
The suffering is more in the state of Vairagya.
Yeah, because they leave the house and they have no money, now they are wondering where they will eat food. Bhikshachariyam charanti. That's the indication.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, that's clear to me. So then, why is it that the following statement, samsarita lo kamupad, why is it that...
How many people takes sannyas out of samsaric loka? Very few, right?
Right.
Why? Because they know that there is no fun in sannyas. They remain attached to their things. They think that is better. That is the samsaric loka anubhava.
So here does the word samsari contain a connotation related to being a family householder or being a samsara?
Yeah, no, materialistic people, family people. No? Because he is comparing them to those who have taken vairagya. He means people who have taken vairagya, they are not samsari.
So I guess I just find it a little bit like the people who haven't and don't have vairagya have experience of why there's more suffering in vairagya.
No, he's saying that, first he's saying that there is more suffering in vairagya.
Right.
And then he says this is also proven by the experience of common people. Those who have not taken vairagya. Sansaric.
So how is it that the people who don't have vairagya can be the praman for what it's like to have it?
By comparison of suffering. They see that these guys are suffering and they are coming to us for begging food. We are eating nice prasad and we give them little chapati or grain of rice or whatever to them. So they think this is suffering. And
So I guess you could take anubhav as like a perception of suffering.
yeah.
Aha.
Yeah, obviously this is Vyas-stuti, not real. That is the whole idea. If it was real, then nobody is going to take sannyas.
I see, thank you. That's clarifying.
Yeah. Okay, Mohini.
Babaji, I had a question on this word from verse 16, akrita cheta or akrita gya. How does the meaning ungrateful come out of this? Because is this correct that it is built from akrita and then gya, knower of, and krita means that which is done?
Now you're asking the meaning of akritagya.
Yes, akritagya or akrita cheta, both have the same meaning, right?
Yeah. So krita means done.
Yes, that which was done.
And gya means to acknowledge it.
Oh, okay.
So akritagya means one who acknowledges what have been done to you. And akritagya is opposite of that.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.